GM Farcaster. It is, what day is this? Wednesday, August 28th, and you are here for 29-ish minutes of Farcaster News to start your day. I'm just realizing my background's doing weird things today. I'm using a new computer, new camera, and it's doing some funky things. So we'll see how this goes.
I think your background looks fantastic.
It does look fantastic, but every once in a while you're seeing my green screen, and that's what part that I think is weird. Yeah. Yeah, it does. Because I don't know if you know, but not being on the leaderboard or wherever you are on the leaderboard is not your worth. It's not your worth. We're going to talk about that in just a moment. But it's not your worth.
Yay, new leaderboard.
New leaderboard, and it's still not your worth. And GM, I'm just saying GM in all the chats. GM, everybody. And yeah, we've got a lot of fun things to talk about. It's been, it was a busy day yesterday. Yeah, so away we go. Hold on one second. See, new computer. Things are not where they should be. But we will get this going. Adrienne, at one point yesterday, you said that we had enough to do a daily show. And I wanted to be like, no, we don't. No, we don't. Don't do that. Every single day? No.
No, there's whether we do the show or not, but
whether we do it or not.
We finished the show on Monday. And then like 2 hours later, I was like, can we get back on a stream? There's news to talk about.
There's so much going on. There was so much going on. Okay, so we're going to start with this news. And this is not really new. I mean, we kind of talked about it a little bit the other day, but we're going to get into a few more things. Warpcast is giving out $5 each day to the top 100 casters. Rewards are given based on the amount of engagement your casts get divided by the number of active followers you have. So that's to make it a little bit more fair for those with smaller followings who are newer to the platform, etc. We'll run this experiment through the end of the year to see if it drives people to create more interesting content for Farcaster. And if you did get this, you got a notification that said you earned 5 USDC. I did get it the first day. I did not get it the second day. Did you get it the second day? You didn't either?
No, I got it. I got 2 days.
Oh, you did?
I'm 10 USDC richer than I was 2 days ago.
I think I am only 5 USDC richer. But that's perfectly.
How did you feel? Were you just refreshing?
I did not feel that it was my worth. I was completely fine. Yeah, I'm completely fine. I think I just wasn't as active, or it may not be that I was less active. I think I was about the same. I think there are other people who might be up in their activity. So good for them. Yeah, I mean, that's going to happen. I'm not always going to be in that top 100. But I often am. So, it's nice to know that it'll be appreciated. I do like this on X. Saw this on Twitter yesterday from Gabriel sharing something from Farcaster with Naomi. Pretty mind blown to see my username at the top of this list. From January to July, I posted consistent quality content on Instagram and received exactly 0 from the platform. I've been on Warpcast for just under 2 months, posting daily workouts, and have earned through mints, tips, Moxie rewards, and now Warpcast rewards, all which help me with my training and future competition expenses. I have found a community of amazing people who want me to win. Creators, go to where you are appreciated and double down on your niche. Very important part. Thank you to everyone who has engaged with me. I love creating here. And this is from AfroChicks. Naomi, if you are not following her, you need to go follow her right now on Warpcast. And to me, what this says is more than like what she's posting. It's the fact that like she figured out very quickly, like she was going to get engagement. She's doing something that's different, which on other platforms is not different, is not unique necessarily. Like if you think about Instagram, there's a lot of fitness folks doing things on there. There's just not a lot happening like that on Warpcast. So you have an opportunity to kind of push through any kind of noise because you're different. And it's her expertise too. So I think if you have an expertise that's currently not like popping off on Warpcast, there's a huge opportunity between like channels and just casting yourself. So that was cool.
Yeah, it's kind of like the small fish in the big pond of Instagram versus you can be a big fish in the small pond of Farcaster, but you still need good content.
Yeah, but you still need good content. That only works with good content. But you could be doing great content on some of these larger platforms and get no engagement just because there's so much noise and you can really cut through on Warpcast. So very cool to see, and cool to see this being shared elsewhere. Same thing from Raven 50. 2.3K homies on Warpcast, 1K homies on Orb. Thank you. I love y'all. Over 2K earned all within 5 months of tapping buttons versus 11.1K on Twitter, 6.8 on IG, 0 earned. So similar, similar kind of discussion. There's opportunity here if you create good content. Again, both these folks are creating good content. They're not just spamming the platform. So we appreciate you. Poor Jan. Jan earned nothing. Be better. I feel you, Jan. I feel you. You don't actually
Have you been
get
following Jan?
I always follow Jan. Yeah, I love Jan. He's great.
I'm a new follower. I didn't know Jan until I saw this. But
amazing artist. Everyone should be following Jan. He's an amazing artist.
And funny.
And funny. And very funny. Yeah. I loved this because I was like, wait, did I get like I hope I don't have a notification like this. That was funny. So I loved it. And I feel like I definitely have to change to dark mode or something because like my screen is very bright today. I think it's from it's this new computer. Something's weird going on. Anyway, this was from Ted. We'll give my $5 in Warpcast rewards to the best shitpost about how the top 6 most engaging users on a platform that apparently doesn't have any women are all women. This was from day one. With room for many, many more because the normalized score is better for newer, smaller accounts versus large accounts like mine. So very cool to see this as well. Little dig. I'm here for it. And this from this Adrienne woman. I love the $5 payouts, except for the ease of paying with digital currency. There's nothing inherently crypto native about it. A centralized platform competing with the big players would do the same thing, incentivize users to stay. It's part of the attract phase of the attract extract life cycle. But since it's on Farcaster, we have insurance against Merkle turning evil on us. Someday we can take our identities and social graph and go somewhere else. Anything being done to increase the chance of Farcaster being a credibly neutral, sufficiently decentralized protocol that a billion people use, I'm here for it. So you like the new meta, the new $5 meta. $5.
Yeah, it's cool. I just my point here was it's not like, oh, Farcaster is so much better than Twitter, Instagram, whatever, because look, it's crypto. You can get paid. That's not actually what's happening. What's happening is it's Merkle wanting to retain users because we need to compete. And that'll happen on any new network. It's the cold start problem. You have to compete with the platforms that already have the network effects. Except it is happening digitally. So they were able to do it probably within like a day of coding. Actually, number 2, I love that.
Totally.
It's because it's on the blockchain, it's a little more transparent. So you can see, you can snoop and do a Dune dashboard to see who's getting the payouts. So that's kind of cool. But it doesn't matter, right? Like if we want Farcaster to win, then we should be happy with all the experiments.
Absolutely. And speaking of Dune dashboards, this is from Kardik. Turn this into a proper leaderboard sorted by total USDC earned. If tie, sorted by USDC per follower. Less followers equals higher ranked, which is kind of interesting. Not the usual type of sorting. So that's pretty cool. So, and the other thing on that is that to another point, Kartik could do this without any permission because it's on blockchain, because it's available easily. Whereas if you were trying to do something like this with Instagram or Twitter and see who they're paying out and create a leaderboard, they would have to provide you with that information. So,
and you'd have to trust them and wait for them, and they'd have to direct resources away. I think someone asked V for like, hey, we want to see, because he posted the first top 25. And I think someone asked, hey, can we see the full 100? And he's like, yeah, we'll get to it. And then he's like, wait, no, we don't need to get to it. Slow Arctic built a dashboard. It's like, beautiful.
No, we don't need to get to it. Somebody else already did it, which is amazing. So that to me is like the key there in terms of crypto and the difference it can make for sure.
Hey, did you see anyone at all playing the asking people to unfollow them? Like they wanted to reduce their follower count so they could gamify and increase their engagement. It's like, hey.
I didn't even notice that.
I think it was.
That's a new one. Can you unfollow me? You're ruining my monetary collection here. This was funny from Horse-Facts. Yeah, just a little you earned 5 USDC.
From the money printer. By the way, that's my background.
And that is Adrienne's background today. So we got the money printer going. Money printer go burr. And then this is my background today. The leaderboard will not affect my mental health. So I will never let the top 100 leaderboard affect my mental health. There you go. It is not your worth, in case you forgot. This I thought was interesting, and I saw this discussion happening in a number of different places in different ways. Speaking anecdotally, this is from Matthew, at Matthew. Speaking anecdotally, I invite fewer of my friends to FC now than I did a year or two ago. Still unpacking the reasons, thoughts behind that, but curious if others feel the same. And there was a lot of activity on this, and a lot of people saying similar things about they had been inviting, couldn't get them to stick, they felt invisible, various reasons. So, and I saw this in a few places of other people talking about this as well in regards to artists. So this was a post from Sunny. I've been a part of the art community for 2.5 years on X and now here for a few months. And I can tell you with certainty that artists on Farcaster are at a crossroads. Best case, there's some foundational shift. Best case one, there's some foundational shift where the FC ecosystem elevates these quality content creators and they can have meaningful existence here. Best case two, they go explore Lens or maybe back to X, where despite the algo, they get some recognition for their art from their peers. Worst case, they get disenchanted with Web3 altogether because they've been scammed. That happens. Unfortunately, rugged, ignored, reduced to a number, and pretty much treated like second-class citizens regardless of where they exist. I worry about this the most. Irony one, the art community is the most vibrant community any social community can have. We literally have generational talent hanging out amongst us, and most of us are unaware. Irony two, artists who are here are the most tech forward of the normie bunch we'd want to onboard, biggest asset for any social platform. So this conversation was happening in a number of places. And I've had this conversation with other artists previously as well, and talking with the artists that we've interviewed for Here for the Art, which we have a new one that is coming out this week. I am getting it out probably tomorrow, Renee Campbell. And sort of the struggle with that of like wanting to bring people on board, but also not wanting them to have a bad experience, because it does take more work. It just does. Like you have to, yes, you are starting from zero again. Yes, you know what I mean? So there is a little bit of that cold start problem, essentially what we were just talking about in a little different way. So, yeah, so I don't know. Are you inviting as many people to Farcaster as you were?
I have not given up, but even in the beginning, I wasn't like throwing the invites out to everybody. It's just when I kind of find when I have the conversation with someone and I see that there's an interest in something different, then I'll try to bring people on. I have like a 0.00001 success rate of inviting people and getting them to stay. Like
Same.
It's embarrassing. My social capital is going to keep going down because I'll do these announcements like welcome so-and-so to the platform. And because I have so many friends, everyone like gives this crazy warm welcome and then nothing. So
they charge.
I'm like, people are embarrassing me. I should not bring anyone else on, but I'm going to keep doing it because I don't know. I think Farcaster is a good place and maybe eventually someone will stick.
I think I've had a very similar experience. Like I think a little more enthusiastic earlier on, and then having those experiences and being like, you are a perfect person to be on here, and them not engaging. Like, I don't know how to flip that around. I think folks like Murtaza and Afrochicks are a little different, like that you have to take that initiative and almost be like a little mini entrepreneur, like with your own little startup of your account. So, and I think the artists but we had this conversation the other night too on Tavern, on Bias and Trisel. We're having a little late night chat, and Priyanka was there too, and we were chatting about artists and those who have stuck around, what has worked for them, and it's just being consistent and not getting discouraged and things like that. But she's tried to bring on other artists, and a lot of times they won't follow her suggestions, so they churn because they're trying to do it like the way they do Instagram or something, and it's just not working, and then they get frustrated. So
well, I realize most of the people I'm bringing on are not active on other socials. Like, they're not social media people. They're not posters elsewhere. So I don't know why they would become on Farcaster. So maybe that makes it harder. On the artist component, and I have it's really just a tough thing to solve for, and I don't think it has anything to do with Farcaster. I mean, I think being an artist and being a well-paid artist that you can live off I think it's been hard since the beginning of time. It's challenging, and I think it's not a guaranteed source of income. I think there's so much appreciation for art. I think art is important. I think artists are important. And if you're selling Farcaster as a platform of come because you will get paid and it's easy money, or yes, there will be some success, but it's not guaranteed. And I think it's just, I have a lot of, I don't know what to say. I have a lot of like empathy, compassion, sympathy for how hard artists have to work. Farcaster is for addicts.
For addicts, not necessarily for artists. You know what? I think that's not far off. I think crypto might be as well. I think there is something to that, but I'm not quite sure how to fully think that through. But you may not be wrong. You might be right there a little bit.
No, we are not addicts.
Okay. We're not, we might be a little bit
addicted to spreading love, maybe.
Addicted to Farcaster, just a tad. In related news, think about who is driving this conversation. By and large, it is not organic user feedback as it is employees. This is from Keckers. This is in regard to Mark's comment here. Sad to see tech and art culture separating through Lens versus Farcaster. Love the absence of this divide at NYC. Berlin Bulls separate and I hate it. Hope we unite. And then Keckers was just pointing out that a lot of what's happening is the Lens marketing team sort of pushing the narrative that Lens is for artists and other types of things. So that could be part of it. But also what this led to was a really interesting discussion within sort of along the lines of what we were just talking about with, are there other factors here? And there was a little bit back and forth with Bias and Dan about supporting of artists. So, you can see this in a number of different ways. Could there be more that we could do to support artists? Probably. But also I'm not sure that I feel like there's also a lot of opportunity here. It just depends on if you're willing to work for it. So, but it's not, I'm not saying it's easy though either. In related, related news.
What is easy?
What is easy?
Just loving Bias, because
just loving Bias.
We love you.
Oh, by the way, he did mention that you told him at FarCon that you were one of his favorite casters, and he feels like he doesn't see you liking his posts as much as he'd like to see. And then we proved him wrong by then Trisel proved him wrong by actually going to the post that he's liked that day that you liked that day.
Was that on Tavern?
That was on Tavern. That was funny. He's like, can you tell her that I don't feel like she loves me anymore? I'll let her know.
Oh God, I hate social media. Can we just say, okay, bias, friends. We have to
I said, do you know what you're asking me? I said, do you know what you're telling me right now? I'm going to tell her this on air. So.
Yeah. So we're taking a detour, and I'm so glad you didn't warn me that, because I would have prepared remarks.
There was no warning.
Here's the thing. When I use social media, I like so many things that I don't actually hit the like on. Like the connection between what I like, hit like, and like actually like, they're related, but it's not always the same, which is why as a caster, I don't pay attention to who's liking things. I'm not like changing. It's like, just put stuff out that you like for yourself and over time. I'm so glad I got a chance. Like, I got a chance to meet Bias in person at the first FarCon and tell him like everything about you and your vibe. Like, I really like you and appreciate you. That has not changed. Like, because I got to see like the whole person. Like, I don't all of a sudden not like the whole person that is Bias. Like, if Bias calls me up, I will pick up the phone. We will so I probably don't see everything. I'm not like, so
that's
that
and that's
breaks
what we
my heart.
Too.
But it's also, that's people notice. Like you actually do get notifications, and you do notice. So the only thing I wish to tell people and give advice is like the feedback you're getting from who's liking your casts is not truth. It's not the real truth of what people think of you, or
also
who actually
it's not
likes.
your worth. It's not your worth.
It's not your worth. Okay.
It's not your worth.
Let's move on with news.
But that, it did kind of jump to a conversation about like, sometimes you're just not seeing people on your timeline. And the algo has been a little wonky with that, because we got into the discussion of people not seeing July's casts all of a sudden for whatever reason. And other people. And I've seen that happen with me a lot of times, where I'll be like, I haven't seen so-and-so lately. And then I'll just go and like one thing on their profile. And then I'll start seeing it again. So some of it is the algo, doing its thing. Like,
so with July, I went to July and I just liked his first, I went to his profile because he wasn't showing up on my feed. I just started liking things, and then the algo was like, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably not the best to use. Anyway, I'm on Bias's profile right now. I'm not reading any of his casts. So
you're just going to like a few things. By the way, I thought this is so funny. This is funny from, oh, wait a minute. This is funny from Brian Morris. I don't know if you saw this, but your open rank is your worth. And, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Also, yes, we are terminally on chain. So if you prefer that to addict, we'll use that as the terminology. Okay. Moving on. Bias, I warned you. I told you if I do this, it was going to be a whole thing. And it was a whole thing. Okay, so this from Dan. Did you see that post about Farcaster on Twitter? Please read below. So periodic reminder from Dan. Did you see the post about Farcaster on Twitter? No, but now I have, since you just shared it with me. 2, block liberally on Twitter. Life is too short. 3, the only thing that matters is weekly progress. We won't always get it right. There will be up, down, and sideways periods, but just have to keep trudging on. So there you go. This from Dan from B. In related news. All of this is related. We're considering adding block to Warpcast. Trolley behavior has increased as the network has grown. Some users constantly pile onto people they dislike with quotes and replies. Mute was enough when FC was smaller, but users need better tools. If you're an FC dev, would you want to add block to your app? So if you are interested in that, please reply on this cast if you are building something else. V continues on. Block is difficult to get right in a centralized way. So the initial version will be a Warpcast level feature. If you block someone, they can't quote-cast or reply using Warpcast. They won't show up in your feed, search, or notifications. A user's block list will be made publicly available over an API so you can integrate into your application. So this is for those who are building other clients. If this is something you'd use, please DM me. The initial version will also have a lot of limitations. For example, the blocked user will be able to see your casts and profile. If you have accepted a DC request, the conversation will still be open. If the feature ends up being used, we will improve it to solve these edge cases and try to make the data available on the protocol. It's important to remember that block is a decentralized social network will have some fundamental limitations. You cannot prevent someone from seeing your stuff. They can always find another client or read directly from hubs. You also can't prevent someone from replying to you at the hub level. However, apps can respect your block list and filter such posts out. So this has been, a discussion for a while. I mean, even mute for a long time was sort of a back and forth on that and whether or not that was needed and used and et cetera. So I do think like you get to a point where it just becomes necessary, even if you don't want to go there. But you can't, people being harassing, especially if it gets real nasty, can be a problem. So yeah. And just in case somebody pops into your world. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know if I'll use it. I don't think I have anyone that I would use a block on at this moment. Don't be like trying to like become the person I use this on. Okay, by the way, this is not a challenge for you. Like I'm just saying, there's nobody I hardly use mute because most of the time I want to be able to see what people are doing most of the time. One area I could see it being really helpful is channels, because I have had times where there's certain people who are just constantly putting things in certain channels. So I'm like, this is just not appropriate, doesn't really belong here. And they weren't kind of getting the hint when we were doing like warn and hide and things like that. So yeah, what do you think? Why am I not hearing you all of a sudden?
Those are people you're not even following. Those are just people posting into a channel.
You muted that microphone again, didn't you?
No, I didn't. Why would I mute a microphone when I'm on a live stream? Duh.
Why would you do that? Like she did it
again. Get your hearing checked out.
That was funny. So you said you're not even seeing them? Is that what you said? Sorry, I got too distracted by that.
Just when in your use case you said, but that's really as a channel owner, host,
right.
Like you want to be able to block from a channel. That's definitely something. I do think I've never used block. I've actually never used mute, but I do think they're like, however, 15 years into social media, I think it's been pretty proven that they're needed. I love the way Varun kind of talks through the challenges with and trade-offs and what makes it difficult to achieve on a protocol level. Like super easy to do in a closed system because whoever owns the data controls how you're seeing the experience. On a protocol, it's like you can't block. That's kind of goes against the definition of sufficiently decentralized. Two users can see, like, data's there and open and permissionless. So interesting problem, and I'm glad they're having the conversation.
Yeah, I think
figure out how to do it.
I think it's something that's just needed. You just have to have it.
I have a question though about, and you may not know, but in traditional social media, like if you block, do people know generally who's blocking who? Is that something you want to keep private? Like, do I want to block you but keep it private?
I don't think you do know. I don't think you usually know unless you figure it out in some way. You know what I mean? Actually you can see it. You can see it on Twitter. When you go to somebody's profile, you can see this person has blocked you.
You. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. You can see that. Yep.
Okay.
You definitely do.
Yeah.
And yeah. Yep, you do know. Okay. Moving on. And I think this is an overall issue happening, reflection of an overall issue. Nobody, Mac Brodowski. People are beefing or storming again. Storming again. And this is his theory on why everybody's cranky. If you're wondering why people are so spicy lately, we are going through another cycle of this. Forming, storming, norming, and performing. I don't know if that's exactly true. I think there's a number of things happening. You think this is true? You think this is the reason? I know it's happening, but I just don't know if this is the reason.
No, I don't know if it's as simple as, that's all it is. But
yeah, I don't think that's it.
There's
definitely something in the air. I'm not disagreeing with that part of it. Yeah. There's definitely an issue. There's something going on. Something happening.
You don't think it's like we're a few months away from a election and people start to get all like riled up on stupid traditional social media because that's what it's designed to do. And everyone's just like on edge because everything you see online is like meant to trigger you and get you to fight with your neighbor.
Yeah, there's that too. Yeah, absolutely. That's what it's going on. But also, I think there's just been, this week has been a little, I don't know. There's just been some agitation going on and has gotten some folks riled up. So I think there's a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but yeah, absolutely. Also, yeah, I was just going to say.
FAQ, if you're somewhat newish to the show, when we share all of the Scroll Talk asked, can you share a link to that cast? Yes, we will in the show notes. So on YouTube and Spotify and in the NFT, everywhere, once we put out the recording, every cast we show plus others that we don't get a chance to talk about, all the casts are linked.
Yep, great point. This from Dan. We've got a few more things and I'm going to try and whip through some. This is in response to VNet. Not so hot take on growing accounts. It isn't easy anywhere. If you want to grow faster, then make connections right and generally put in the effort in a sustained manner. I have found that people are more receptive to new connections here on Farcaster than anywhere else by far. And I find that very true as well. Correct. You have to earn the attention of an audience by being interesting to other people. People on Farcaster are eager for more high quality content. Look how quickly Afrochicks and Mazam Hussein were able to grow. Being interesting to a wider group of people beyond your immediate family and friends requires a lot of work. And I agree with that. And this, when did we start quoting to have conversations instead of just replying, from DeWoofy? And in the quote cast from links, you get more engagement on quotes, especially when posted to a channel. And DeWoofy's response down here was, leave Brittany alone. These are just two of my favorite people. That's all. In other Farcaster Merkle news, FIP introducing ordering. Cassie, Dynamite, and Sanjay and I have been kicking around ideas for a new sync model for Farcaster. We're looking for feedback and people to collaborate with on account ordering. I don't know what this means, but I'm sure the devs do. So for the devs who are interested and have some thoughts on that, please check that out. And I've got a couple more things. I'm sorry, new computer, having issues. Couple more quick things this is from V. Hold on one second. Hopefully I got the right one. There we go. Sorry. We've only been doing this for 146 times. This is our 147th, I should say. So there you go. One of these days, we're going to actually get it right. This from B. First-time contributors to Farcaster often try to propose new features. We appreciate the energy, but this never ends up working. First-time contributors usually lack the context to identify design flaws and the clout to get people to adopt it. If you're serious about contributing, start with simple things like fixing bugs, writing docs, upgrading packages, or improving the dev EX. This will help you build the context you need to start writing features. So this is from the dev level, not necessarily just like the, hey, I'd love to see this thing. But if you are interested in contributing, send a DM to B. So that's pretty cool. And then this from Dan, but if the other thing is you can just bug Dan nonstop.
No. So hold on. So the Varoons thing is if you're contributing to Farcaster, that's at the protocol level.
At the protocol level. At the dev level. At
the protocol level, the protocol, yes, heavily controlled by Merkle at this time, who are kind of creating the baby, but open source. And there are tremendous opportunities if you're a dev to contribute. Like there's bugs, there's documentation, like so get in there, there's dev calls, there's a GitHub, there's, so if you're interested in being an open source protocol contributor, his advice is like, don't come at us with your big ideas in terms of how to over ramp the protocol. We've been working on this for years.
but also we'd love you to contribute.
Like get us a coffee. Bring us coffees for the and just be a gopher.
Fix a bug.
Just fix a bug. But
this was from Riley. Hey, DWR, horse fact. I don't know if it's been discussed. Oh, it has. But it would be super neat to see Farcaster media outlets in the Explore tab too. Even better, a tiny alert bubble when one you're subscribed to goes live. I would love that. It would really help with increasing the robustness needed for creating credibility of creators. And this from Dan. Adrienne has been pinging me about this. We have a bunch of stuff we're working on, but overall, it's a good idea. And then you're the best was very nice. Yes, you've been in his DMs on this issue. A couple more quick things. This from Dan, new experiment on Explore mini apps. Matthew Fox cleverly built FlappyCaster as a composer action. Play the game, get a high score, and cast it. But we wanted to see if other people had interesting ideas for apps that didn't quite fit into a frame or composer action. If you build something, feel free to submit and ping us, and we may feature it. I have not played FlappyCaster. I'll have to go check that out. That could be a good game for upcoming future things like Cast Out. So there you go. So little game in a frame.
Ooh.
Cool. Very cool. Yeah, we have to go play FlappyCaster. I got to put that on my list today.
I'm so excited for Cast Out when I'm not playing.
I know it's gonna be fun.
Can we do that again?
Fun. Yeah, we're definitely doing that again. Probably October. Okay, this from Omri. Emery. Jeez. Octin and Purple Retro Public Goods funding. 10 ETH will be distributed this round to support the Farcaster public goods ecosystem. Octin staked 100,000 ETH and is distributing staking rewards to people building public goods. Octin is developed by the Golem Foundation, and funding is dispersed via community voting of GLM stakers. Learn more at Octin. Thanks to Prop 52, Purple DAO pre-allocated 5 ETH to this round, and Octin is matching this round with another 5 ETH for a total of 10. So go check this out. This cast will be in our show notes as well. And if you are interested, you need to cast inside Purple, and you need to use Retro PGF in your cast to qualify for this round. Adrienne, we need to go do this, by the way.
Not yet. August 30th.
August 30th.
It starts on August 30th. Okay. I feel like it's been a while since we've had a little Purple retro round.
Yeah, they do it like once every quarter. Mm-hmm. So it's about every 3 months. So yeah, it has been a little bit of time.
It seems because so much has been built, and
that could be it.
Remember like a year ago or a year and a half ago when there would be Purple rounds and they'd be like, you knew the 3 or 4 things that someone did in a given quarter.
Yeah, absolutely.
For Farcaster, you'd be like, oh yeah, those were the 3 things. Now I don't even know.
Now there's a ton. Yeah. By the way, I loved this cast from you. I had a flashback to when I used to screenshot my mobile phone as a cast was sending, because sometimes it would not work and I'd lose the cast. I would go to photos and copy the text. So, we've come a long way. So there's that.
I hit cast on my phone the other day and it didn't cast immediately. Like it was kind of taking a few seconds. And I like literally had that flashback. I was like, this used to happen all the time. I'd hit cast and it would just like hang on the and I would quickly screenshot that because just in case, because half the time it would say
there was a
problem creating your cast. And then I would just like go to my photos, copy and paste it and recast.
So funny. That's so funny.
But you don't see like progress is very slow and gradual. You don't see. And then when something bad happens, it happens all at once and everybody notices it.
Yeah.
And that's true with like development. It's true with like any sort of like financialization of anything. It's like crashes crash, but all the buildup is much slower. So
speaking of crashes, I haven't looked at the price of ETH today, but yesterday was fun. Can you stop? Can you stop doing that? Who's doing this? In other news, how do we figure out who hosts owns a channel? Use farcasterchannels.com. I did not know this existed. So this is pretty cool. So you can see all the things about the channels right here. So there you go. Speaking of banger casts, OK Banger I watched the show yesterday. You can find the recordings available as well in the /OK Banger channel. Kristen and Cameron have been killing it. It's been a really fun show. I love the way they kind of set a tone of like everything they're going to talk about relates to a particular topic. So yesterday was about power and sort of power and influence and kind of thinking about that. And it was pretty cool. So go check that out if you missed it. And they will be back on on tomorrow, on Thursday. So they're doing Tuesdays and Thursdays for, I think, 6 or 7 weeks. So go check that out. Seeing if there's anything else that we really have to talk about. I do want to mention this from Sparks because it's cool. Most people don't know I used to be a travel ambassador for a credit card company. The role combined 3 of my biggest passions: photography, travel, and working the credit card point system. I wasn't paid to travel, but because I was earning the majority of my flights, hotels, and transpo via rewards, they hired me to document my journeys around the world. I've been to 49 countries, gravitating to outdoor adventures and nature. I'm a hiker, biker, skier, climber, and surfer. /adventure is a home for adrenaline junkies and nature lovers. I've been bad about promoting it, but that ends today. I'll be sharing pics and stories of places I've been fortunate to visit. Hopefully others will post theirs too, so I can add some new spots to my bucket list. We'll also mix in travel tips, gear, credit card hacks, and other fun stuff. I'll kick it off tomorrow, but for now, enjoy this pic of the most picturesque football pitch on the planet, located in the Lofoten Islands. I don't even know where that is. If you squint really hard, maybe you can see us. So that was really cool. Beautiful photo, incredible. And I'm looking forward to seeing what JC has to share in regards to that. So, and with that, we have gone way over, of course, because we had, and there's still a bunch more that we didn't get to. So as we mentioned earlier, we put all the casts in the show notes, and anything we didn't get to also gets in there as well. So there's always some gems that are kind of hiding in the show notes. So go check that out. Anything else?
We didn't get to talk about Boost.
Oh yeah.
So we can cue that up for Friday. Cue that up for Friday. But Merkel's been cooking.
They've been cooking. They're having one of those weeks where what? No, I have to go. There's a whole bunch of things in the chat too. We'll have to go check out. So we will be back on Friday with more fun.
Right.
Yes. Go ahead.
I guess this one was, there is the meta of everybody yesterday was sharing their, when did Dan invite you to Farcaster? When did Dan DM you? Yeah. Oh, and I was just going to tell whoever this is, That's funny. On YouTube, you can change your name and your profile pic. On StreamYard, you can change your name and profile pic. On Twitter, you can change your name and profile pic. On Unlonely, you cannot, because it's attached to your wallet. So if you have an ENS, you can't impersonate someone. So I was just going to tell that if you're if you're taking someone else's profile and changing your name, I'm not putting you on screen, but Prof will apparently.
But I did.
Too far cut. Whoever you are. I was penalizing you.
She was penalizing you,
in the naughty. I was putting you in the naughty corner, but now,
no. And
let's have fun with it.
And I'm like, boom. Not even thinking about it. That's so funny. Also, though, we do like to call you out. We do, like, in a good way. We like to shout you out when we share our episodes. So if you are in the chat in anywhere but Unlonely, or even if you're on Unlonely with just a wallet that doesn't have an ENS, let us know who you are, so we can shout you out on our casts when we talk about the episode. And with that, I don't believe you.
See, and
stop doing Jeff like that. I believe it might be Random Arrow is who I was thinking. It probably is.
Yeah. But who is that?
It's probably Rand.
By the way, thank you, Squirrel Talk, for saying high production value. I think you're trolling us, but thank you anyway.
Definitely trolling. No, he did ask what software we use. We do use StreamYard, and it is it's amazing, by the way. And I should start putting the link in there. I'll put it in the show notes today because of that question. Our StreamYard, I love StreamYard. It's amazing. So if you're doing any streaming, StreamYard is fantastic. So definitely do that.
Yeah. And we are very active in the GM Farcaster channel on Farcaster.
Yes,
and
go check us
we
out.
Welcome all conversation. Anything you want to chat about GM Farcaster, drop in there and we'll chat.
Yep.
If you have questions about the show.
Yeah. So /GM Farcaster right there on the screen. That's where you find us on Warpcast. All right. And with that, my friends, it has been a blast as usual. We also have, Treebor's in there too. So there's a good point from Treebar from earlier. Artists prefer to stay on X because of Farcaster. They are basically zero sales. You can make some mints with Zora and Rodeo, but basically free. So I guess that's a good point if you're still trying to sell your art. If you're trying to sell your art and X, Twitter, and things like Instagram, there's just more opportunity, more people that potentially might buy your art. So I get you. I feel you. Anyway, okay, friends, we will see you again. I don't know if you put this on the screen already, but that's pretty funny. Thanks, Mr. Crypto. Adrienne, you're more than your production quality. Yeah, it is not your worth. We will see you Friday, 8:30 a.m. Eastern. For those who maybe joined us late, we are going to replay this at 11:30 Eastern, 8:30 a.m. Pacific. And we'll also have the recording out later today. Go ahead, Adrienne.
And
one last word.
Save the date, like right now.
Yes.
Take out your calendar and put it in September 13th. We're doing a 24-hour stream to celebrate our 1-year anniversary, and there's going to be lots of fun and lots of ways to get involved. So just keep that on your radar.
Yep, it's going to be fun. But before that, we will see you on Friday for more fun. And for now, bye-bye.